Adobe Illustrator Pathfinder tool makes my job easier in case where I need to merge some shapes together or separate overlapping shapes. However, if you are anything like me, you probably have no idea what each one of those buttons do and often find yourself trying several before you get the result you want. Let's end this once and for all by taking a comprehensive look at each button in the Pathfinder tool window. Before I get into each button on the Pathfinder window, it is important to note that there are two different series of buttons. The top row are called shape modes, while the bottom row are called pathfinders. In addition, you will find the expand button as well, which is normally only activated after you have created something using one of the following buttons. The unite button is the first button on the left under the shape mode series of buttons. This button is probably the easiest to use and the easiest to understand. Just as its name suggests, it is meant to unite or combine two or more shapes to make a new shape. Now I have two shapes that I would like to combine into one vector shape, the red oval and the green oval. Selecting both of these shapes and clicking the unite button, they now become one shape. In this case, the new shape takes the color of the shape that was on top. The next button under shape modes is called minus front. Just like the name implies, it is designed to take away whatever the top shape covers on the bottom shape away from the bottom shape. In this case, I took the same red and green oval and using the minus front button, it took away from the red oval what the green oval was covering. I simply put the shape I want to cut out on top of the shape I want it cut out of. Click the minus front button and now I have one shape with the shape cut out of it nice and neat. Third in line is called the intersect button. The idea behind this button is to find the intersecting lines and create the shape from the overlapping areas. In other words, it leaves you with only the part that is overlapping another part. This button tends to work best when you have a small number of shapes. Depending on the outcome you want, you may have to do two shapes at a time to produce the desired result. The last of the shape mode series conclude with the exclude button, exactly the opposite of the intersect button. It will take out the overlapping area, leaving you with everything else. Unlike its intersect button counterpart, this does work with multiple shapes and even shapes that are overlapping 3 or more deep. However, when you have overlapping shapes or layers that is 3 layers deep, it will do the exclude twice, or one for each overlapping shape. The first of the Pathfinder's button is called divide. Just as the name implies, it will divide all of the overlapping shapes into distinct non-overlapping shapes. You can see that I have one shape selected and you can see the bounding box is over the area that was overlapping. When you use the divide button, it counts that overlapping shapes as its own shape. It took each shape and make it its own. However, it looks exactly the same as it did before. The second Pathfinder's button is trim. This is very similar to the minus front shape mode. Without actually removing the shape in front, this option will trim away from the bottom shape what the top shape overlaps, while leaving the top shapes. The end result will be no overlapping shapes and the bottom shape having any overlapping area removed. By using this, it will create a group. I ungrouped the resulting shapes and selected the shape that was trimmed, so you can see. If I was to pull away the red oval right now from the green, it would have a missing section. The third option is merge. In this case, I added a second red oval and placed it on top of the two ovals I have used before. By using the merge button, it merged the two red ovals together while using the green oval to trim the bottom red oval. If your shapes are not using the same styles, you can see this in the window appearance. Then the merge button will revert to the trim button. If you are using the same styles, then they will merge the shape. The important thing to note here is that the bottom shape is what will be trimmed by anything that overlaps it on top. That is not the same styles as the bottom shapes. To the right of the merge button is the crop button. This is another one that behaves uniquely. When using the crop button, it will take only the very top and very bottom shapes and create two new shapes. The two new shapes it creates depend on how they are overlapped. The resulting shape will be the very bottom shape, then the very top shape overlap, taking the style of the very bottom shape. It also creates a second shape with no style, that is the very top shape, with the new first shape cut out of it. Here you can see what was cropped and what was left. The part that was cropped is the part that was overlapping. However, it leaves the second shape as the very top shape. However, trimmed away from the cropped shape, the new shapes will not be overlapping at all. In this example, I wanted everything inside of the red outline box to be cropped to fit inside the box. The crop button took the very top shape, the red box, and cropped everything below it to fit inside that box, while leaving what was the box as no fill and no shape. You can then take the individual shapes inside and take them out and move them as necessary. The second from last of the Pathfinder series is called Outline. Unlike the other buttons above, it actually does not produce shapes at all. It will take each line segment and make it a path, using the fill color as the stroke color. Also, every time a path crosses another one, it automatically generates a new path so that none of them are overlapping. In this example, it created exactly 4 paths, each with a stroke of the color that corresponds to the shape it is outlining. This is a great tool to use in conjunction with one of the other Pathfinder options, in that you can create complex shapes, then use the outline button and create paths for those shapes. Using this button could lead to some unique and interesting outcomes. The final button in the Pathfinder series is called minus back. It does exactly the opposite of what the minus front button in the shape move series does. It takes the very bottom shape and removes the overlapping portion from the top shape. I hope this video has helped you to learn about Adobe Illustrator Pathfinder tool. Don't forget to subscribe the channel for more upcoming videos like this. That's all in our part 61 of Adobe Illustrator 0 to 0 complete course, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. Please subscribe to Easy Guide official YouTube channel if you want to master in Adobe Illustrator. By the way, if you have not seen our earlier videos, please take a look. This course is especially designed for those who are brand new to Adobe Illustrator. It covers everything in full detail. Link is given in the description and first comment. That's all for today. See you in part 62.